know ahead of time, like, kind of, like, is this something that's going to be of interest to me?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily to the film's fault, but the movie is really a road trip movie and not a war movie in a conventional sense. Like, it's not Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down. It's more like The Last of Us but on HBO, where you have this group of characters trying to get from point A to point Z and all the different things that they hit along the way.
No, you're right about that. And that was, again, I think one of the criticisms that some people have leveled at it is that the trailers kind of portray it as being this action film, and all that stuff that you see in the trailers is in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's not the main gist of the movie. It really is a character drama, and it's set in a world where the Civil War is raging in the United States. And it's about how the people, our characters in the story, navigate through all of that.
Yeah.
So.
And I do think, I do think that both helps and hinders the movie in that, one, it doesn't really take any political sides. Of the movie is, I wish I knew more about the history and kind of the reasons leading up to it. And this isn't really a spoiler for the movie. It's kind of, I would say, addressed pretty quickly. The film starts kind of on the tail end of the Civil War, so it's already been going for a while. And there's no real explanation given as to why it happened. And I do think if they went that route of saying, it was because gun rights were taken away, or it was because Roe v. Wade was taken away, it would be one of those things that is so immediately, would cause people to throw up their shields and be like, oh, so you're saying that, yeah. It would just, I think it would have caused probably more social problems, when really the message of the movie is, don't dehumanize your fellow, man. So it had a hard line to walk. I will give it that.
Because in any story, I always want to know the backstory. I want to understand really how did they get to this place, because for me that's going to help explain some of the actions that happen along the way. Like, I perfectly understand why so and so said or did that because of X, Y, and Z. And not having that information, you're left to try to figure out, well, was that a good response or a bad response? Was that, did they kind of overplay that response? Is that not a natural response? Anyways, it just leads to too many questions because I don't understand how they got there. But I do think that your point about not explaining what was the catalyst, I think was critical, because then the catalyst would have become the point of the film. Mm-hmm. So if, as you had kind of thrown out there, it had been the abortion issue, then that's all people would have seen it as, is like, well, the reason why we got to have abortion rights is so we don't have a civil war. Or the reason why we need to outlaw abortion is so we don't have a civil war. Whatever it would have been that was the whole point. That would have been everybody's takeaway. But the point of the movie was so much different than that. It was really trying to deal with, I think, what came out in one of Kirsten Dunst's main lines in the film. And she's a fairly quiet character. Like, she talks a bit through it, but there's a lot of introspective stuff that she does. I think she acts this role really well. But at one point in the film, and this is in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away either, she says, every time I survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. don't do this. But here we are. And so I really feel like the main thought of the film was, let's learn from past mistakes. Let's learn from our past mistakes. Let's learn from others' past mistakes. And let's not keep repeating history.
I was just going to say, it's the